Anytime I feel down, I know I can depend on you to help me pull through. The situations in my life, nobody said it would be easy to walk this way, to live this life today. But through it all, I can say that I never felt such love from somebody who treats everybody like somebody. I can't express my love with 10,000 tongues, but I'm willing to try. So I just wanna take this chance to open my mouth and say thank you. Thank you for every good thing in my life. I'm grateful, I gotta say thank you. Thank you. There were times I lost hope, my faith was weak and my heart was sinking, and I couldn't see my way out. But then you came and showed me.
Greetings, family. Today is October 5th. This is day 4 of our journey as we honor the Most High and honor the memory of your mom. We want to continue to discuss faith. We want to look at the object of Daniel's faith. If you recall, we utilized Daniel chapter 1 as a foundation for the 5 components of our tools to conquer cancer, which included faith, food, fitness, fasting, and family. I do want to look at the object of Daniel's faith, which is found actually in Daniel chapter number 1, verse 9, and I'll read that verse. And it says, "Now God had brought Daniel into favor and tender love with the prince of the eunuchs." I mentioned that is because God was working in Daniel's life, and it was because of him that he was obtained favor and was able to do what he needed to do as it relates to his fasting, his food, and that actually had the benefit. God was a key element, and the object of our faith should be him. I do want to move outside of the book of Daniel to talk about 2 examples. An example of 2 men who, according to scripture, were good kings. King Hezekiah, whose name actually means Jehovah strengthens, or Jehovah's strength. And I want to talk about Asa, whose name actually means healer. 2 good men, according to scripture, but they had 2 different outcomes as it relates to the disease process that they had in their latter parts of their lives. I want to look at 2 Kings. We want to look at 2 Kings, and we are going to look at chapter 20 for Hezekiah, and it reads this: In those days was Hezekiah sick unto death, and the prophet Isaiah the son of Amoz came to him and said unto him, Thus saith the Lord, set thine house in order, for thou shalt die and not live. Then he turned his face to the wall and prayed unto the Lord, saying, I beseech thee, O Lord, remember now how I have walked before thee in truth and with a perfect heart, and have done that which is good in thy sight. And Hezekiah wept sore. And it came to pass, afore Isaiah was gone out into the middle court, that the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, Turn again and tell Hezekiah, the captain of my people, Thus saith the Lord, the God of David thy father, I have heard thy prayer, I have seen thy tears. Behold, I will heal thee. On the 3rd day thou shalt go up into the house of the Lord. And I will add unto thy days 15 years, and I will deliver thee and this city out of the hand of the king of Assyria. And I will defend this city for mine own sake, and for my servant David's sake. And Isaiah said, Take a lump of figs. And they took and laid it on the boil, and he recovered. I mentioned that for a number of reasons, because what Hezekiah did as a first resort, when he received the news or the report that he was to die, he prayed. A lot of times what we do as believers, we utilize prayer and God as the last resort. However, that should be our first resort. And as a result, the word of the Lord came to the prophet Isaiah, and he was giving a solution to cure, which was to take figs, put it on the boil, and he recovered. Next, let's look at King Asa, who had a different outcome to his situation. We find in 2 Chronicles chapter number 17, King Asa had a situation, and we find that he had a disease process in his feet. In verse number 7, I will go ahead and, I said 17, it's actually chapter 16 of 2 Chronicles. And it reads this concerning Asa. It says, and Asa in the 39th year of his reign was diseased in his feet until his disease was exceeding great. Yet in his disease he sought not the Lord, but to physicians. And Asa slept with his fathers and died in the 41st year of his reign. And they buried him in his own sepulchre, which he had made for himself in the city of David, and laid him in the bed which was filled with sweet odors and diverse kinds of spices prepared by the apothecary's art, and they made a very great burning for him. I reference Asa in this particular situation because you have two kings who the scripture record were good kings or righteous kings. However, with them both having the disease at the end of their life, one had an extension and one did not. The scripture declares, as it relates to Asa, he sought the physicians first. He did not make Yah his first resort. However, he turned to physicians, and he did not have the same healing, just like Hezekiah did, even though it was recorded that he was a good king. So family, I want to remind you that God, Yahweh, he is to be our first resort, not our second, not our third, not our last resort. Prayer is the first thing you should do anytime we encounter any problem, particularly or any sickness. He's able to heal. And I love Ephesians 3:20 that says this, that he's able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think. So again, if there are loved ones, encourage them. Turn to God first so that they can experience their divine healing. And with that, I'm signing off. I love you. We'll see you tomorrow.